11, 2021. Coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. This is Breakfast Central.
The weekend is upon us and we can't wait to vibe and have as much fun as we can. But before then, let's bring you the brightest breakfast show on the continent of Africa. We're News Central TV. I am Oluchi Nabong. This is Breakfast Central.
Well, good morning to you, Africa. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Olisa Chukuma, and yes, let's rock you, usher you, bring you into the weekend with a look at the headlines today. Zimbabwean court dismisses case against the chief judge in the country. We'll tell you all about it right here.
And we'll be looking at the reactions ahead of Democracy Day in Nigeria.
In the world of art, yes, magic making. We'll tell you how. Hold on to your...
And in entertainment, Obama is to produce new series on Netflix. Exciting times.
Also, the latest when it comes to COVID-19 updates, as always, right here on Breakfast Central. Right, thank you very much for watching this Friday Breakfast on News Central. Let's take you to Kenya, where the country has lifted a ban on direct flights to and from Somalia barely a month after announcing a suspension of air travel between the two countries. Now, in a statement, the ministry said that all existing travel protocols will be applicable, with travelers requiring a negative COVID-19 certificate.
Now, Kenya's Foreign Affairs Ministry says it hopes the move will lead to full normalization of diplomatic ties between the two countries, and Somalia has welcomed Kenya's decision. Now, the ban on flight has been a big blow for Kenya farmers of the narcotic leaf cut, who usually export it to Somalia, as it were. Now, our East African correspondent Abdinol Aden now joins us. Good morning, Abdinol.
Good morning, Oluchi.
Good morning.
Morning, Abdi. Now, Kenya banned all flights to and from Somalia in mid-May, but gave no explanation that was given us at then. But what do you think prompted that? And walk us through this relationship between Kenya and Somalia in terms of the flights banning since mid-May.
Well, thank you so much, Olisa. As we very well know that Kenya and Somalia currently have an ongoing maritime case, and even though this is not the cause of the recent standoff which led to the closure of the skies, but these developments which were started by Kenya's announcement on the morning of 11th May, that is last month, that it won't allow passenger flights from Somalia, while declaring that humanitarian flights were not affected by that. Therefore, this recent decision by Kenya means that both countries are on the path to resuming and normalizing their relations.
All right, now talking about relations, looking at the relation between Kenya and Somalia, it has been strained for years now. And we understand that it hasn't been because of the current situation. It has been because of the long-running maritime border dispute that is now at the International Court of Justice. But with this new development, what does this really mean for the two countries?
Well, as it stands in the announcements made by both ministries of foreign affairs, it doesn't include the reopening of the embassies of the two countries since the recalling of the ambassadors. But it means a lot for Kenya's relations with Somalia, because as we very well know that Somalia has, within the period of 60 days, is going to the polls. But apart from that, Kenya and Somalia belong to the IGAD regional cooperation, the regional body, as well as they have a lot of business relations. Now, the other thing is Kenya's defense forces, the army, are in Somalia as part of the AMISOM mission, which has been ensuring that the war against terrorism and on Al-Shabaab is strengthened. Just this week, we've also had the Somali government accusing Kenya of causing injuries and killings in some parts of Somalia following its airstrikes. Now, before that, we've also had a Qatari special envoy who was mediating talks between the two countries. Therefore, what many farmers, especially on the narcotic drug heart, are hoping for is these relations will include the reopening of the green twig market.
All right, because that seems to be an issue, the narcotic drug. You talked about Somalia and accusing Kenya of meddling in international affairs. They claim, that Kenya have, dismissed. But with this latest news this morning, update now, what will you think will be the reaction from the East African bloc and the communities going forward between these two countries? At least finally, we have a bit of a resolution. Just like you said, they're not calling back, the ambassadors who, they've closed down those diplomatic offices, but relations should start from somewhere from here.
Well, it means a lot because Kenya and Somalia belong to the IGAD together, and besides Djibouti, one of Somalia's accusations have mostly been on Kenya. But with the two countries now normalizing their ties, it means all decisions made by the two countries or their representatives will be received in good faith. If I may take us back to November 2019, where President Formaggio and President Kenyatta met in Nairobi, where they had also announced that the removal of the stoppage of flights from Somalia in northeastern Kenya. What used to happen, Olisa, is that flights from Somalia, which were heading to Kenya, first had to go mandatory security check in northern part of Kenya, causing a lot of strain to the passengers and to the business people. Now, in that meeting, they removed that barrier. And with today's announcement by the two countries of normalization of ties, it means they might be ending the obstacles against each other and allow Kenya's influential role in the regional body, as well as allow Somalia's sovereignty and the electoral matters to go ahead without pointing fingers and accusations on Kenya.
All right, so it looks like it's from Mogadishu to Nairobi and Nairobi to Mogadishu. No hiccups, no bypass, no detours. Thank you very much, Abdullah Aden, our East Africa correspondent, for coming on Breakfast Central right here on News Central. Let's go to the southern part of Africa and straight to Zimbabwe, where the High Court there has dismissed a contempt of court case brought against Chief Justice Luke Malaba. Now, Malaba is at the center of a legal dispute following last month's court ruling that the president's decision to extend his retirement age from 70 to 75 years was illegal.
Now, the ruling effectively terminated the 70-year-old Malaba's term, but he returned to work after the Justice Minister and the Attorney General appealed the ruling, prompting a human rights lawyer to sue him for contempt, saying the 70-year-old should be jailed for 6 months. Now, in May, Parliament voted to amend the Constitution to allow Supreme and Constitutional Court judges the option of extending their term to 75 years of age.
All right, so there'll be more to follow on that story right here on News Central. That's the latest coming in from Zimbabwe. Contempt of court case against the country's chief judge. And moving straight to West Africa, Nigeria. Well, on Saturday, which is tomorrow, June the 12th, will mark the Democracy Day for a third time. Now, while Nigerians now recognize the day and the man behind it, the now late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, major politicians worry about the state of development in the country.
Now, News Central's Mary Chinda spoke with former presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, in the person of Pat Utomi, and reports this.
Nigeria's days away from its big day, the Democracy Day, and the burning issues the nation has been mad in, such as widespread insecurity, a skewed electoral system, declining economic growth, unemployment, uneven food distribution, and poor governance have been more on the lips of stakeholders who say these mar the essence of the June 12, 1993 struggle which the late Chief Moshood Abiola stood for. Renowned Nigerian professor of political economy, Professor Patutomi, has proposed community policing as a long-term solution to insecurity in the nation.
Security is fundamentally a local problem. Why is it a local problem? Because the people in the community tend to know who the crooks are in their community. Security is local. We even discuss it by talking about community policing. But because of politics, we have not consciously engaged the truth about security as a local thing.
Only recently, data from the Debt Management Office show that Nigeria's debt profile witnessed an over 20% increase between 2019 and 2020. That is from 27 trillion naira to about 32 trillion naira in debt. The professor of political economy points out ways the government can stop more borrowing.
Productive asset base so that you can derive a dividend that will enable you prosper.
With the nation's next general elections only about 20 months away, the statesman recommends that the electoral process must be made credible.
Well, I think that there are some fundamental issues that need to be taken care of before these elections. If we don't take care of electoral process reform to ensure that people's votes really count, we don't bring in electronic voting methods and such other things. If we don't begin to deal with the fundamental structure of a federation, providing more local autonomy, the principle of subsidiarity, then you're going to end up just making things worse than they are today.
June 12 became recognized as Democracy Day in the West African country of Nigeria only in 2019, after the current president Muhammadu Buhari signed into law a bill to officially recognize late Chief Moshood Abiola as the rightful winner of the 1993 elections.
MKO, action!
A recognition that has been denied the Abiolas following the annulment of the election by the military government of General Ibrahim Babangida. Mary Chinda for News Central.
All right, thank you very much, correspondent Mary Chinda, for filing that report and that interview with Professor Patrick Tomi. And I'm sure there's lots to catch on News Central's website, indeed our YouTube channel, exclusive interview with the former presidential candidate, indeed. Right then, let's go straight now for a look at the paper review.
All right, let's look at the papers this morning, the 11th day of June 2021, and we're starting with West Africa, where we have the Punch newspaper this morning. Now, looking at the Punch newspaper, we have quite a number of stories. It says Buhari pushes rotation deal to APC. Oyegu insists on zoning. This on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Nobody should sit in Lagos and decide power rotation, it says here, and that's from the president. Local government LGs have been killed. Chairman compromised. Buhari laments. This is all in the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the Punch newspaper also, page 26, U.S. flags Twitter ban, federal government's threat of prosecution. It says this in page 26 of the papers. My directive to shoot criminals with AK-47 stands. That's what the president is saying. His directive to shoot criminals with AK-47 still holds enough water. You'll find this in the paper this morning. Federal government declares Monday a holiday for Democracy Day and preaches peace. It's all right here on page 8 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Also, you see this picture right here. You have the president. This was during a commissioning that happened in West Africa, here in Lagos State to be precise. And you can see a lot of cars. You have cars being commissioned for security operatives. You have motorcycles being commissioned as well for security operatives. And this will all be part of the measures put in place to ease insecurity in Nigeria. More details from the Punch this morning.
All right, let's go down south to the Sowetan in South Africa to see what they have on the morning paper there this morning. So a big headline there says, please don't leave us. Desperate workers plead with Clover not to leave troubled area. Now, it also says, my girlfriend is pregnant and I can't afford to move to KZN with the firm. So find out all about that on page 3. Also at the top, you can see that picture of wet grounds in the garage. It talks about the muddy surface around the entrance to Clover in Lichtenburg, northwest South Africa, which makes access to the Chinese cheese factory a nightmare. As collapsing infrastructure in the area has forced the company to consider relocating its factory to KwaZulu-Natal. All of that on the front page, and at the bottom left, you have one that talks about the SATV, where original Casanova Tsai marches on, it says, and UK firm sue police minister over 100 million rand heist. All right, find out more on page 11 of the Sowetan, and essay in a third COVID wave. All of that on page 4 of the Sowetan newspaper in South Africa. All
right, moving from South Africa, the Sowetan papers, we are now in Daily News this morning. And the Daily News, the major headline we have here is, Court approves Malaba's tenancy, says CJ did nothing wrong by returning to work. Yeah, that's what it says in the paper this morning. Now, SA records over 8,000 new cases in 24 hours. That's the National Institute of Communicable Disease confirmed that the country's cumulative COVID-19 case count has increased to over 1 million. We have more details in the Daily News for you to read. All right, and that's it for the newspaper review for this morning. Let's move on to other things we have for you on Breakfast Central. Talking about learning how to draw. Now, looking at drawing, which is a primary skill that every artist tries to master before diving deep into the creative world, some artists make drawing their only form of creativity, being experts of pencil techniques and challenging the reality of its real objects.
While drawing may be an intuitive skill when needed, but also an incredibly challenging skill to master. Now, sand drawing is a Ni Vanuatu artistic and ritual tradition and practice recognized by UNESCO as a masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity.
Now, our guest today is a Cameroonian sand artist, Kobe Williams, who has over time caught the attention of many with his talents. Let's welcome Kobe to the show this morning. Good morning, Kobe Williams, and welcome to Breakfast Central. Hello, Kobe.
Good morning, and thank you very much for welcoming me in this morning program.
All right, Kobe, good to have you. Sand drawing, which clearly I don't think I've practiced in my youth, is not something that is seen, every day. How did you come about, this art and this particular form of expression and drawing?
It wasn't an easy journey. It wasn't easy at all. I started using sand last year in 2020. I discovered it, and there was a tragedy that happened here with the Anglophone crisis that the world knows. A good number of kids were burned alive. And the event went viral, and it touched me so much that I went on the ground. I started using sand. I wanted to represent the kids. So that's how sand drawing was born. Then I started perfecting the art, started working on the art time upon time, and to see the results the world knows today.
All right, Kobe, we do have a couple of, images, videos of some of your work. So let's check them out right here on Breakfast Central.
Wow, Kobe, that's quite laudable. What I'm seeing you do on sand, it makes me wonder.
Incredible.
Wow, I'm speechless. Now let's talk about the sand that you use, the type of sand. Is there a specific type of sand that works better with this kind of art, or can you just randomly work with any kind of sand? I know there's clay sand, loamy sand, sandy soil. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, well, it depends on the surface or the background you're working on. If the background is dark, you need to use a light sand like white or any sand that's light. But if the background is shiny, or the background is white, you need to use dark sand like brown and so on. So here the background is dark, so I had to use white sand.
How challenging has it been for you in this particular field? Because this is a career path that you have chosen, and quite a number of people may not even appreciate the kind of work that you're doing. But so, how challenging has it been for you?
Oh, it's on the media side or the entertainment side, is quite successful because people love things that are unique and special. So on the entertainment field, I've gained much. I've become more famous from time to time. But now financially, it's not that easy because I'm still working on research on how to conserve. I know there are ways to conserve sand, but I'm looking for something unique to conserve the sand, the sand runs I'm doing. So financially, it's quite challenging, but I've varied my resources in art because I am also a specialist in chalk drawings. Oh. So I use chalk to do art and so on, and I found a way with my research on how to keep and conserve the sand. So that is what that's what I'm using right now to make a living. So I can say I sell sand, I sell chalk. So I don't know if you were able to get some images I did with chalk, but
we are seeing, quite remarkable work, right, being done before us, here. So, well, Kobe, you talked about, trying to keep the sand, on the surface, which is maintaining the durability of a sand job being done. But you also talked about working with chalk. I've seen, what we're seeing here. I've seen Maradona, Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, even behind you right now. I wonder if that's Rio Ferdinand behind you, because you seem like quite a football person. Is that Rio Ferdinand I'm seeing there behind you? Or someone else? I
didn't get you well.
Is that Rio Ferdinand in terms of a painting? I'm seeing a couple of paintings behind you. Is that Rio Ferdinand behind you? Oh, wow.
So I'll be glad if Ronaldo or Sadio Mane would or tweet something about my art. I mean, that would be the greatest day of my life.
All right, Kobe, I would like to ask you one last question. I mean, what part of Cameroon are you from? What tribe of Cameroon are you from? Are you Bakuri? Are you from Boya? Who's that from Cameroon? You come from Sui?
I'll be Bakosi from Southwest.
Bakosi, no. Oh, okay. That's not far from Bakuri. Now I make the axe.
Yeah, we are cousins with Bakuri.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right, Kobe. Before we let you go, who's your biggest inspiration? What really inspires you, in your art?
Events. I'm very much attracted to events. That's why I always do things that's related to any hot topic in the world. I try to be, always to be on the hot zones concerning my art. Okay. That's what inspires me because I love history. I love to tell a story in relation to the arts I do, and this caused me to be very, very creative because sometimes I even use water to do arts. I use so many tools in order to explain my own way ongoing events.
All right, Kobe. We also saw one of TV Joshua, the late Nigerian pastor who just recently passed on, and you've done quite a good tribute to him. You might want to help Nigerians out, and do something about
he's a
Twitter.
Great man. How can I say? There's no word to express how great he was. Because when we were kids, I used to watch his video with the family. We used to stay on Sundays and watch his broadcast on TV every Sunday with the family. And growing up, I keep on watching. I've never met him. I keep on watching his videos, his broadcasts on TV. But personally, I was shocked that some people did not like him or reacted negatively to his death. I mean, even if he was a bad person, at least when somebody dies in his memory, at least you need to celebrate him.
All right.
And he was a good man. He needs to be celebrated.
All right.
And you've done that quite well. Thank you very much. Sand artist Kobe Williams, all the way from Cameroon. You can do Nigerians a favor, do something on Twitter on Sand, or perhaps something about Cameroon and Nigeria, Super Eagles and Double Lions. So thank you very much for coming on Breakfast Central. We'd like to see more of your work. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, you're still watching Breakfast Central. Such an inspiring guy he is, Kobe Williams. I mean, he's doing something that is not so common. And for children out there, for young people out there who are on the brink to finding their path, you know, this is a good way. Artistically, this is a good thing. To at some point, you know you're doing the right thing, even though everybody might be swaying in one direction. You going in one direction, knowing that you need to stay on course, is a good way to achieve your aim in the long run.
All right, there you have it right here, Breakfast Central on News Central. Well, coming up next on the program, well, South Africa's Akani Simbine wins 100 meters Diamond League in Florence. We'll tell you how. And in the world of entertainment, Obama to produce new series on Netflix. Plus, the latest when it comes to the COVID-19 updates all across Africa. Right here on Breakfast Central. Welcome back. You're still watching Breakfast Central on a Friday, 11th day of June 2021. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, especially now on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Don't worry, the birthday of Twitter, we'll see about that later. All right, now. It's TGIF. Now, the impact COVID-19 has had on the world and Africa still remains a huge concern for leaders and the economy. Now, News Central reporter Ife Israel is here to give us the latest on COVID-19 updates. Good morning, Israel.
Elisa Oluchi, good morning indeed. The impact is devastating as world leaders are still battling to know just how well to contain this pandemic. Let's kick off in Tunisia, where the health ministry yesterday reported 2,373 new COVID-19 cases. It raises the total number of infections in the country to over 362,000. The death toll from the virus rose to 76 in the country to 13,305 in Tunisia, while the total number of recoveries reached over 317,000. A total of 1.54 million lab tests have been carried out in Tunisia so far, with over 1.2 million people. They have received the vaccines, with over 352,000 of them having received both doses. Well, in South Africa, the country has technically entered the third wave of COVID-19 just yesterday. This according to the statement from the country's National Institute for Communicable Diseases. The national 7-day moving average incidence, which reached 5,959 cases, exceeded the new wave threshold defined by the Ministerial Advisory Committee of the government. The statement also reported over 9,000 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the total of the national tally to 1.72 million, with positivity testing rates pegged at 15.7%. The majority of new cases reported yesterday were from the Gauteng province, which hosts the nation's economic hub, Johannesburg, and the administrative capital, Pretoria, accounting for 61% of the cases. In Namibia, the country has recorded 1,045 COVID-19 cases. It is the highest daily increase since the coronavirus was reported back in March of last year. Now, the health minister, Kalumbi Changula, in a statement said the cases are from all the country's 14 regions, with 59% of them recorded in the capital of Windhoek. He noted that the current situation demands urgent action, adding that the COVID-19 monitoring team is reviewing the situation with a view to mount an appropriate response. The minister also announced 18 COVID-19 related deaths, bringing the total to 968. Let's also let you know that Namibia has so far reported 61,000 confirmed positive cases, over 53,000 recoveries, and 968 deaths. Well, the figures now so far here on the continent of Africa, it has recorded over 4.9 million cases with over 133,000 deaths. The continent has carried out 49.2 million tests, while over 4.4 million recoveries have been recorded. Well, this simply means that, yes, indeed, the African continent is still battling the pandemic. The governments of the continent, they are indeed putting things in place to ensure that they achieve what we call the herd immunity. And so far, so good. I would like to say, yes, the continent is doing its bits to contain the pandemic. Olisa Ology.
All right, Israel Eferobo, thank you very much for that one. I was almost calling you the bearer of bad news, all those deaths you were reporting. But at the end of the day, we are still battling all this together. Yes. All right, thank you very much, Israel. We'll see you once again.
Thank you.
Right, so only if we take a break right here on Breakfast Central. Still to come. All about South Africa's Akane Sibine. He's done it big in Florence.
All right, yes, when you hear the drum beats and you see me this excited, you know that we're in entertainment mode. And of course, our very own Amal has more on this. Good morning, Amal.
Good morning.
Morning. Our sister from Uganda.
Yes,
what's going on, Amal? The latest of entertainment, we hear that the Obamas are busy again with another Netflix series. They don't stop, do they?
Yes, I mean, some call him our forever president. Well, I'm not from the abroad, so I can't call him that. But Netflix has elected Barack and Michelle Obama to a new position of power at the head of their upcoming animated series. The Obamas announced on Wednesday that they have produced We the People, a 10-episode television series aimed at educating children on United States civics lessons for the streaming service. And I think that's good. It's good to train kids, let them know what politics is about and how things go and how things are run. And I think that's a great thing, for, us, the Americans.
Did you just say us?
You did. All right, a good one for the Obamas. We can skip that quickly. So what's going on with Dinwiddie? We hear is to appear on a new HBK documentary. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, Dinwiddie is set to appear on the new HBO documentary, The Legend of the Underground. I watched the trailer of it, and it's a great thing. It's a great thing that, these, I don't want to say, but they're being seen and they're being recognized, and it's a very beautiful thing. We also have the Princess of Africa. I think we all know who he is. And they're all featuring on this documentary, and we get to see the unfair treatment of people who are living life, in a different way. And it's a great thing to see their stories being heard. And I can't wait for the full documentary to come out, because I think it's going to change people's minds, hopefully. It will change people's minds and how they perceive these people, because, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't say I love, but at the end of the day, we're all people.
We are, and so too, Amal is Amanda Nunes and Kim Kardashian. I'm surprised she's in the news today. What's the latest there?
Everything that I thought I would ever talk about, in everything in my life, I didn't in my whole life. Yeah, I never thought I would ever talk about this. But Amanda Nunes has called her Kim Kardashian, and she wants to challenge Kim Kardashian. Kim is Kim Kardashian to a UFC fight, as in the one where you fight, basically.
Like physical fight.
Yeah, like that one. So you're going to see Kim, boom, boom,
Amanda
boom,
Nunes
boom.
Amanda Nunes is not somebody, anybody, not even a guy, not even a hunk who want to try. So why would she call out Little Miss Kim?
I just leave Kim for us. She's an influencer, maybe for plastic surgery and so many things.
But why
like,
is there
what's so
beef?
special,
Is there
about
beef?
Kim? Why is she on Kim's matter?
I think, after the Mayweather fight, Mayweather and that boy.
The YouTuber.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that fight, I think everyone feels like they can call out celebrities, which is fine. But leave Kim Kardashian. She's still influencing me to go and do like a bit of face fillers and all of that. It's not UFC we are looking for.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much, Amal.
Thank you so much. That's it on entertainment today. Thank you so much.
Well, Amal, it wouldn't be bad if somebody calls you out for a UFC battle.
We'll support you.
Why you wanna try me?
All right, thanks, Amal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, as a public official, it is important that you hire a team that puts together your statement. But when that is not in place, well, then there is a problem. Now, let's check out who said what.
The proximity of our state to and the only neighbor to Lagos, the fifth largest economy on the continent, is an advantage that we are committed to harness. Something is wrong there. Something is wrong there.
The proximity of our state to.
The proximity of our state to and the only neighbor. No, that sentence is wrong.
To the only.
To our only neighbor.
Lagos state. Yes. The proximity of our state to our only. To Lagos. To Lagos. To Lagos. To Lagos. To Lagos.
Yes, that sentence.
To Lagos state. To Lagos state. The fifth largest.
Okay.
Camera rolling. 4, 3, 2.
The proximity of our state to Lagos State, the fifth largest economy on the continent, is an advantage that we are committed to harness to the mutual benefits of our two states. Is that correct?
4. It should be 4. For the mutual benefits of our two states.
Information. I thought you guys.
All right. So that was the Ogun State Governor Dakwa Abiodun in a more like seemed like a pre-taping of a speech where he was looking to give an announcement, a pre-taping, a pre-recorded announcement about it, and seemed to be having difficulty, not by his own means though, with the script, and was given in correcting issues with terms of the context and terms language and syntax with what was being said. He clearly disagreed with some of the comments there. But who said what? Well, there you have it. All right, still right here on Breakfast Central. Now, you're not alone if the word abracadabra, conjures up childhood memories of a magician with a magic wand, or perhaps a deck of cards. Now, magic is one of the first forms of entertainment experience that by many, starting with disappearing act and also our minds being drawn to illusions that defy what we know to be true. But just as our brains grow and evolve, so too the tricks that mystify and entertain us. Well, our guest today on Breakfast Central is Agbo Austin. He's a magician, yes, magician, who has taken the path of entertaining his audience with thrilling and amazing magic tricks. Well, Austin, welcome to Breakfast Central. I am so delighted to have you on the program. First of all, where did you first get into magic?
Like 2.5 years back.
2.5 years. So why magic? Why?
I just love the fact that it brings this amazement to people. Like, people have this rush when they see magic, and I really love it. And the vibe it brings changes people's mood. I really love stuff like that happening. So I just dig in it, and then I started doing more and more of it, just from a little piece that I learned. We started expanding it.
So you're more like a Houdini. So Oluchi, we have a Houdini basically in the studio.
I'm also in awe looking at a real life magician. I usually see you guys on TV, and look forward to a day where I have to see you physically. Now, from what you said, you've been doing this for quite a while. But in this part of the continent, Africa, anybody who is a magician is believed or perceived to be using one form of juju or jazz, as it were.
True.
Can you really confirm to us that you're not a jazz man?
True. We are not using jazz. Okay.
So what do you use? It's tricks.
It's just. Yeah,
is this science, first of all?
Like I would tell people, there's science, there's illusion, there's magic, and there's trick.
There's science, there's illusion, there's magic, and there's trick. Okay, so you're gonna giving us a display today. Which one are you giving us today?
Okay, I'm gonna do tricks today.
A trick. All right, a trick. All right, so we're gonna have a trick right here on Breakfast Central.
I want you to go through this, like open it yourself and confirm that.
So this is a fresh deck of cards that I have in my hands. A fresh deck of cards, and I'm very sure that everyone can see it. All right, so I should bring it out, right?
Yeah.
All of them?
You should, yeah.
Oops. Oh my God. I'm terrible with, you might want to help me with this one. I don't want to damage the packaging.
All right.
Okay, you can see I have no casino experience. I'm useless in that one.
It's all
okay,
good,
so what do I have to do now?
Can you shuffle?
Yes, I can try.
All right, let me see you do that.
Okay, shuffle. I've not gone to Las Vegas yet,
Good.
but even if I do, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Okay, so what happens on Breakfast Central goes everywhere in Africa. All right, I think this is a bit of I've shuffled. Okay.
Yeah, that's
all right.
good.
All right.
Okay, should I add my own shuffle or?
Oh my gosh. Oppression.
So when I meet people, there's the little one I introduce myself with.
Okay.
I'll be like, do you want to say something? And they'll be like, yeah.
Okay.
I'll do the simpler one first. Like, what card can you say?
This is not a spade. This is a 9
of clubs.
What do they call it?
Clubs.
Clubs. Okay, 9 clubs.
Good.
Okay.
This 9 clubs, I can just throw it somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
And then anytime I snap my fingers, it can just.
No!
Okay, now that is just like the simple ones I understand.
No way.
And this is fresh off the deck, so I just have 1 9 of clubs. You understand?
Okay, so do I pick a card and you do the same thing?
All right, no problem. You can pick a card.
Any card?
Yes.
Do I have to show you the card?
If you want to.
Do I have to show you the card?
If you want to.
Okay, so I've got 10 hearts.
Okay,
I've got 10 hearts. 10 hearts. All right, we are all seeing it's 10 hearts. So you see it's 10 hearts.
Yeah.
So
all right. So
okay.
Again, very slowly, we'll put it somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Just to be sure, this is not the 10 hearts. And this is the 10 of spades. Now I want you to think about the 10 of hearts again.
10 of hearts.
Like, I feel like gotten it in your head.
10
now,
hearts. Now,
if I snap my fingers again, with just a snap, it can still like elevate to the top. Okay, okay, this is still the easy one. Now watch, I can put it somewhere around here.
Okay.
That's somewhere around the middle, right?
Yeah.
If I snap my fingers again, it can jump to the top.
No, it did not. Okay, okay. So yeah, let's try.
You snap your fingers. And now watch. Okay.
How did you do that?
I don't know.
How did
you? It's very simple. Okay, now let's try it with your hands this time around.
Okay.
This is the 10 of hearts. I want you to help me hold it like this.
Okay.
If you can, just hold it like. Now you remember the 10 of hearts, right? Red. And what is this?
This is
the 6 of diamonds.
Yeah.
This is clearly not the 10.
Yeah.
And then if I wave the 6 across the 10, it turns into the 10 of.
Then what do I have?
Now I want you to check your hand.
Oh my God! All right, thank you so much. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming, Agwastin. Good luck with all the magic tricks. So there you have it, guys. Agwastin, magician, live right here in the studio Breakfast Center. Honestly, we've really got to go, don't we?
Yes, we do. We really do. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. For those who didn't know, Akene Sidibe did so well last night for South Africa, winning in the 100 meters race out there in Florence in, Diamond League meeting. The sports team will tell you all about that much later. We have to go. Thank you very much on behalf of the cast and crew. We'll see you later. Oluchi, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.